step in.
You're watching Canada's Weather Network. To help you plan your activities in the coming days, here are the short and long-term forecasts for your area. To upload your photos and videos, visit upload.theweathernetwork.com.
This local forecast has been brought to you by Fountain Tire. Fountain Tire, we're on this road together.
Well, we've been talking a lot about this big storm across the prairies, and we will again, but ahead of that, talk about winter versus more like mid to late spring, I would say almost early May weather you can expect today at parts of southern Ontario. Look at this. You got sunshine, 19 in Hamilton, 18 in London, 16 in Toronto. This is beautiful weather. Ottawa as well. Quebec, you're going to feel that warmth as well, the March sunshine. So this is nice activity for outdoor, or nice weather for outdoor activities. But, Chris May's got a podcast, This Day in Weather History, and it was the day that Niagara ran dry.
Hi there, I'm Chris May, host of This Day in Weather History. It's a podcast from the Weather Network. This story today has been on my TDI WH calendar since I first started putting this podcast together in the fall of 2019. It was the day that the Niagara Falls lost the falls part. It was when the water suddenly stopped. You might have heard the story before. Here's a unique perspective. It was in 1848 when this unique spectacle occurred, and there, of course, were the invariable Darwin Award nominees who said, "This is a harbinger of the end of the world," because the water ceased to flow over the Horseshoe Falls. It was not a harbinger of anything. I'll tell you what happened. It was actually after an exceptionally cold winter when the thick ice on Lake Erie, because it's the shallowest of all the Great Lakes, it began to break up and flow. The strong current drew it to the mouth of the Niagara River, where it began to pile up. Now, we we hear about ice jams all the time. They happen every year all across our country. But I would have figured that the Niagara River would have been strong enough to force it through. Nope, that did not happen. The ice formed a dam between Buffalo and Fort Erie, and that cut off the flow of water over the falls for 30 hours. More Darwin Award nominees. In one of the most incredible stories and most indelible images that I've ever seen, on the night of March 29th, hundreds of people took lit torches, because that's what they had back then, and were reported to have walked across both the Horseshoe and the American Falls. The U.S. cavalry was bouncing back and forth on it as well. Now, I know this was the mid-1800s, but at some point, somebody had to have stopped midway and looked back upriver going, hey guys, what happens if this starts flowing again? Well, it did later on that afternoon. But for those who witnessed it, witnessed a miracle, because it has never happened since this day in weather history.
If I've got to be totally honest, I probably would have been a candidate for one of the Darwin Awards, because I probably would have done it too. Chris May, you can catch his podcast anywhere you catch podcasts. Well, it won't be running dry, but wet. We got some rain showers tonight, and likely again Wednesday night, eastern Ontario, southern Quebec, but that's only a portion of the story. Yes, indeed, it's going to be replaced by snow. Do not put away the snow shovels quite yet. That could be 10 to 20 centimeters. Toronto, you'll just get a glancing blow of it, but you're going to cool down. Ottawa could see 10 centimeters, possibly 20 centimeters in Montreal. Halifax and most of the Maritimes staying on the warm side of that storm. The winds continue to blow across Saskatchewan and Manitoba, gradually easing through the day, but still blowing and drifting snow. So rough travel. Fair weather for southern British Columbia. Alberta's more settled down, and conditions as we look towards the end of the week warming up. It is anything but warm in our far north. Wind chills in the minus.
Well, Canada is going into another summer with the COVID-19 virus. Tonight on Health and Weather Extended, we are getting our experts to weigh in on a couple different topics, like what temperature means for the virus now that we're going into the warmer months again. Also, variants. How will that play a role? And the vaccine as well. So tune into Health and Weather tonight as everybody weighs in and we really get a deeper dive into what Canada could expect this summer with COVID-19. One of the topics that I found really interesting was the idea of dining together. This could be one of the riskier events that, of course, many of us want to do this summer, and we think it's safe. Bottom line, social distancing should be top of mind. And we'll also talk about how the variants come into play and make that situation potentially a little more riskier. So that's tonight on the Weather Network. Health and Weather every Tuesday evening.